The UK has just made it illegal to copy music you own from one device to another, even if you paid for it. Meaning, if you want to listen to your music in the UK and you want to be in the legal right, you'd have to purchase a copy of the song or album for each device that you intend to listen to it on. Jose, if you want to hear a song on your computer, in your phone, and your iPad, you technically, I guess, will have to buy it 3 times. That's a very controversial ruling coming from the high courts over there in the UK. There was a lot of pressure being put on by the British Academy of Songwriters, composers, and authors, as well as various musicians unions, because they want more royalties. They want to see more money. They want to see us buy these things 3 times over. I think that's just incredibly insane, because all of a sudden everyone who's using iTunes or has an Apple device, for example, is now a criminal.
I mean, here for me it's very clear. This is another example of how the policy all around the world goes after the consumer, instead of realizing that the reason why the musicians earn so little is because the record labels steal most of the money in the deals, even if it's streaming, even if it's the sales of or downloads, because that's the problem with the digital distribution. The whole business model changed, and now before they'll make money out of hard copies, but now rarely you buy a hard copy. You try to either buy into a subscription model that you pay for each streaming, or musicians get paid for each streaming. So for me, the concept of music ownership has been evolving, and at some point we're gonna have to sit down and rethink what music ownership is, because today you make iTunes illegal completely in the UK right away. Everyone with iTunes, it will be committing crimes with each song that they play, because you buy it in one device, you have it in all devices. I have 5 devices, 5 crimes. There you go.
I guess it would be a little hypocritical to sit here and kind of bash at this new law. Meanwhile, I'm over there downloading music illegally, right? Because essentially, the musicians make this music, and then you kind of download it illegally, and then now you're kind of technically stealing from the artist, right? So I think it's not that black and white. I think they want us to put these rules in place only because there are ways of getting it illegally, and then these rules wouldn't have to be put in place if the musicians themselves weren't being robbed in the first place. But I think no matter how many rules they want to put in place, there's always going to be a way around it. First it was Napster and LimeWire. Now you can just download the YouTube MP3, for example, torrents. I mean, people are always going to find a way around it, and now all of a sudden you're kind of controlling people's lives, and you're telling them you can't put this on this device, even though this is your device. You can't transfer this from your computer to there, you can't put it there to there. People feel like they're losing control. I got a new iPhone, I open it up, all of a sudden there's an effing U2 album on there that I didn't even ask for, and I have no control over, and it was a struggle to get it off, So I think we're seeing, control over our own devices slowly being taken away.
Not only that, I think that, like you mentioned, I think that I do respect the intellectual property of musicians, the effort, the time, and the creativity that goes into an album. But at the same time, in this age, it's very, very hard to regulate how many devices you're going to play your music on, because it's so fluid. That's one of the selling points, the ability to move from one device to the other, without missing a beat.
Right.
So if you think about it, I come back to the idea that music ownership and creative product ownership is gonna need to be addressed pretty soon, and create a new standard of ownership, because it's not real. I don't own any songs anymore. I pay into subscription models, where I don't download. If you play offline music, it's in your phone physically, but you are not allowed to bring it off that device. So I think in the future we will be seeing that music will be distributed almost completely on a subscription basis, and for the collectors, you'll have your vinyls, you'll have your CD special editions, but I think we're drifting away from the ownership, and it's more of a hardcore collector, music lover thing than the standard of the business.
Yeah, I think we're at a very pivotal moment right here. I mean, like, we're seeing, the beginning of an end of that era that you're talking about. So perhaps, rules like this, record labels and artists kind of arguing over these kinds of things, I think that's growing pains, and this is kind of this transitional period that we're in right now, as we become more tech oriented as opposed to, let's say, analog with vinyls and CDs and stuff like that. But I think this also shows kind of how big of a joke copyright is nowadays, as technology moves this fast, and it's so accessible and it's so easy to download stuff for free. So it's not surprising that we see laws like this being put into play, but whether or not they're actually going to have any effect, that's a different story.